All right, so I'd like to ask you, Kai, like, since you came in, like, how was teaching the kids? How was the experience like? How you imagine it versus the reality on the ground? Like when you came in the first time,
Mm.
how was it like? Because I also like to share my with you.
Sure, man. Yeah, it's a great question. I
Yes.
think coming in, I'd only taught online before kids. I used to teach online with VIP Kid. It's an online teaching platform, and it was always one-on-one. So I used a lot of body language, a lot of what is called TPR. It's
Mm.
basically
TPR.
body language to help the kids know what to do. Like we do stuff like this, like listen, like this, talk. Um, so my expectations coming in, I think I tried to keep as few expectations as possible because it was a whole new environment, and I just wanted to see what it was like um, with kind of a blank slate, you know.
Mm.
Um, the reality of it, well, I can tell you the hardest part is not the material. The material is super simple. Like for those of you who don't know, teaching English in China, if you teach little kids, the material's extremely simple. It's like cat in the
Yeah.
hat. It's like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It's like the easiest thing. But
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
but then the difficult part is classroom management. That was very difficult because imagine you have 8 kids in the same room, young,
Mm. Mm.
no self-control or relatively less self-control than adults and high school kids, etc. And they all want your attention at the same time. And then you have to teach them these new words. You have to translate sometimes. So I'd say for me, the most challenging aspect was classroom control for sure. And that's also where I grew the most as a person, I think. Um, but overall, like, man, dude, I worked my butt off. I worked my butt off those first few months, just trying to catch up with everything, learn how to do the classroom management, master the material, learn how to lesson plan, and find
Mm.
fun games and find ways to make the class as engaging as possible. Because
Mm.
what I saw for me, my job as a teacher is one, to instill a love of learning English in the kids. And in order to do that, incorporate lots of really fun activities and build the kids' self-esteem. When they did well, make sure to give them high fives, play with them, and give individualized attention when necessary. So I'd say for me, it was the most challenging job I've ever done, and also the one where I grew the most. So that's my
Mm.
first general take on that. You got any follow-up
Hello?
questions or anything?
Yeah, I do. Oh yeah. So when it comes to discipline, like
Hmm.
controlling the class and everything, did you ever
Yeah.
have a class with the Chinese based on the cultural difference? Did you ever have a class with the Chinese assistant?
Can you say
Because
that?
like classroom management, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
classroom management,
Yeah.
was there any clash between you and your assistant based on the cultural differences?
I
Because
see.
like I had that, yeah, it's because they'll be like strict on the kids, and then we are like, no, where we come from, kids do whatever they want to do. They learn from what
Mm.
they do. But here,
Yeah.
it's always like tailor made, like tailor cut and everything.
Yeah.
So I was asking if you also had that kind of experience with them, like when the assistant was going in how the kids, and you're like, no, 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 and then like, no, this is how we do it in China. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I've had that several times, like.
Yeah. I understand, man. Yeah, that's a great question. Like if I ever clash with the TA on the cultural differences regarding classroom discipline. Dude, honestly, when I first came in, I didn't know what to do at all. So I was very, very soft on the kids, very, very soft. And it was good in one way because we built a genuine, real relationship. I wasn't being a cold, long distance authoritarian. I was like really trying to connect with them as people. I was treating them like adults. Um, I think the only feedback that I got from my TAs because my TAs were relatively young too, and I'd say most of them were relatively inexperienced, was that they wanted me to be harder on the kids for sure. What was interesting though was whenever I enter a new workplace environment, I always network with the people who are the most competent, like the people who have the most experience, who play the best games in the situation, who know exactly what they're doing, and I ask them for their advice. So the first few months, I just really studied these people and directly asked them for their advice, and that helped a lot. So I think because I was humble enough to ask for the advice and I took the advice, I applied it immediately. Um, I was able to quickly master the classroom management to a point where I didn't have big conflicts with my TAs. But sometimes it was just like, Kai, you need to be harder on the kids, or Kai, you need to speed up the pace of your class. Like pacing was very difficult for me because we have to teach this lesson material. It's usually like 6, 7 slides of material, maybe 6 to 8, and then incorporate some games to make it fun, and then also deal with issues as they crop up in the classroom. So it was a multifaceted challenge. It's almost like juggling, I'd say, while you're walking on a tightrope. It's like walking on a tightrope and then juggling at the same time. Yeah. So I'd say that's my feedback for that. How about you, man? Did you have any clashes on cultural differences, Akon?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, bro. Like the first 2 years, yeah. Like I would always be like, no, leave them. That they are kids, the kids will only be kids once they are young. Like at this age, they'll never come back to where they are again.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
So at this stage you just let them be. For me, like that's what I told them, like, no, let them be. Let them enjoy this stage. When they move to the next stage, they'll not come back to this thing again. So just enjoy them. And then they'll be like, no, you guys from the West, you guys from here, this is not how we do the cases. So once it happens that way, I just withdraw, and then I give it out to the Chinese TA or whoever, the Chinese teacher in class, to just handle them. Once everything is done, I just come back and continue with my class.
Okay.
So like now that is what I've been doing. But when I came in at first, I'll be like, no, let them be. They were always doing that of kids. I wasn't experienced at that time. And so like it was always just back and forth also. But as time went on, I also learned that kids are smart. They will always try to poke the weak person. Play each other against players against each other, and then in order for them to have their way. The kids are smart. Like when it comes to doing that, yeah, they know how to move.
They do.
They know how to play chess when they're playing each other. Playing two adults against each other. So it was one of the things I also learned quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the things I learned quickly. So if my TA or someone comes to the class and be like, no, sit well, XYZ, I don't go in. If I'm like, yep, sit well. She says sit well, or else I'm taking your star. And then so once they started noticing that, how come it's not that soft, they all started. So, but it's always fun, there's always a sandwich. You always have to do the sandwich situation in order to be able to get things across, because like number one, English is not their first language.
Yeah.
Number two, they just get to spend just about roughly 2 hours with you, maybe for a whole week. So probably twice a week or once a week.
Yeah.
So then there's always a target that you're supposed to push down. So you have to manage this, manage that. Always have. For me, I call it a sandwich situation.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Sandwich situation, man.
All right, so sandwich situation, just like when you're making a sandwich,
yeah,
people don't like, others don't like, kids don't usually like the vegetables that you put in them.
Yeah.
But then they like the bacon.
Yeah.
They love the cheese that you put on it. So in between it, you sandwich it, you put a little bit of,
That's funny. That's funny, bro. That's funny. You're like,
you take a bite, you get a little bit of the veggie, a little bit of
Yeah.
bacon and then cheese, and then I said, "Mom, oh, God, please he interview veggies so we can know." So that's how I was doing it. Like,
That is
I was
hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually so funny because you're totally right, dude. It's like, how can I make this perfect lesson where I know the kids they need to eat these vegetables, like they need to
Yeah.
eat these vegetables. So I need to make the perfect sandwich. Just I'll put this tomato slice right here, but then right after that, I'll put a big juicy meat patty after that. Nice slice of cheese, and then maybe a lettuce patty, lettuce right here. But then after that, I'll sprinkle some salt and some bacon over that. Maybe I'll end it off with another, I don't know, some pickles, like a little
Yeah.
salty, a little spicy.
so,
That's
bro, like,
yeah.
what they might not see the veggie, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yeah,
Oh no, hold on, bro. You're cutting off a bit, Akon. Hold on, Akon. I think our laughing overwhelmed the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro.
It took over.
Slow down. Oh man. No, Akon. No. All I see is him frozen with the knee how, dude. With the knee how.
It's smiling.
Akon, no, bro.
No, man.
Akon,
Well,
come
I just
back.
yeah. I mean, it's so cool, man, to hear both of you guys' side of the story, man. Mention those kids. I mean,
Mm.
it seems like a very complex thing, but you guys definitely seem like to manage it pretty well, and you guys kind of did it in the most professional way as well. So I think that's really cool, actually, how you guys both did that. I never heard kids that young before, but I mean, you guys have a good hand on it, and you guys are able to kind of manage and process everything to be processed. And I love the sandwich story where some kids might like the meat a little more than the lettuce or the onions, but it makes sense though. It makes great sense though for sure. That
It does.
natural good right there, so it makes sense. But that's so cool, man. I like that. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.